Mr. Nirbhay, I came to know that the CGI is committed to net zero carbon emission by 2030. Can you throw some more light on this project? How are you trying to do this? How important this project, and of course, how it is also relevant for other companies to get some learning from your experiences?
Sure, Doctor. In terms of CGI's net zero carbon commitment, we said by 2030, CGI aims to achieve net zero carbon emissions across its operations, which is like scope 1, scope 2, and the business travel. This is certainly ambitious. We hardly have any time. If you ask me, it's about maybe 5-6 years to go for sure. It's an ambition goal, aligns to with the larger global climate targets. It also reflects our commitment to the larger climate change. While it means when we say that it's commitment for sure, it also means that we are committed to the larger goals of ensuring that our processes and systems are in place. We are working very closely in terms of our own. How do we look at in terms of the energy consumption, moving from the thermal power, moving to the renewable energies, looking at our transportation from being diesel power to electric, encouraging our employees, whom we call members, adapting to best the public transportation in terms of better available options. And the last one is also about how do we really look at adapting to green IT practices where our programming and some of the coding practice itself are less consuming in terms of the energy. That's one portion of it. We also working on in terms of the retrofits to the buildings where legacy buildings where you are staying in terms of how do we really relook at some of those chillers, ACs, and some of air conditions, looking at some of those challenges also we are trying to address. And of course, the water gets recycled and some of those things are happening. Within that, what we're doing is that we also integrate our CSR part of it, where we do larger while we don't talk about carbon offset today, but it's more about how do we really give back in terms of while we internally are net zero by 2030, we are looking at plantation drives. We did about 40-50,000 saplings that we have planted, which are taken care for the first 3 years. We are also into agroforestry, where we not only just do a fruit bearing plantation, but also it's taken care by a farmer. There's an underprivileged farmer who is benefiting. We are also into lake rejuvenation, more about how do we really look at water conservation with ensuring that the local lakes are rejuvenated. And we are big on in terms of the organic farming. Today we work about 400 odd farmers looking at rejuvenating the farming practices, giving them inputs to adapt to the organic farming, having established them with the market linkages, certifications, ensuring that they have a right price for their hard work. While we work some of these things, we are really invested big time in adopting about 4,000 tribal women families in Telangana, supplying them with improved cook stoves where they really emit much lesser smoke while they are more energy efficient. So while some of these really shape up in terms of the externalities, we are extremely conscious. We push our employees to be more environmental friendly when it comes to lifestyle practices. In fact, we are helping both in Telangana government as well as in Karnataka. In Telangana, we run one of the largest solid waste management in Siddipet constituency. Hopefully, in a year or so, we should make rural Siddipet into an ideal or a smart constituency. And of course, we work in Koramangala, where the facility is supported by CGI, converting the kitchen waste, the Koramangala, into a biogas. And of course, we also run a similar facility in Chennai as well. About 6 to 8 metric tons per day has been kitchen waste is converted to biogas. Some of these are large, broad-based initiative. While we do internally about net zero 2030 in terms of scope 1, scope 2, and business travel, externally we help the communities to adapt to better practices.
That's wonderful, actually. So nice to hear that not only in the company, but in the ecosystem also, you have taken up various initiatives to achieve this net zero, not just within the company, but as a society together. But one interesting thing, what probably I learned from you is I heard from what you said, you're not just planting the saplings, but you're also taking care, because many a time this one thing majority of the organization neglect. They think that the moment you sow seeds or put some saplings, the things are taken care. Is there any way you are practicing, so that I'm asking this because this could be an insight to others to take care of the saplings, not just sowing the seeds, but also taking care of it actually?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think so that's what really triggered us. Instead of doing an roadside plantation drives, what we felt was we were looking at three broader things when it comes to plantation. One, there has to be a community angle where there is the place is secured enough in terms of that, at least for the 3 to 5 years time frame, the place is secured enough for us to undertake the plantation. Second, what we are also looking at in terms of how do we really ensure the partnership with our NGOs, ensuring that our employees not only participate in plantation drives, but also ensure that this is maintained over the next 3 years. So all our partnerships where we say that we are committed to maintain those, we call it Miyawaki or urban forest or short terms, all those, we ensure that we are taken care in terms of the plantation over the 3 years. The third thing that we really did about is about ensuring that while we do these urban plantation drives, we also ensure that we start working with an agroforestry, where a farmer is benefited. Of course, there's an ownership there for sure, and he or she is benefited with the outcome of it end of the 3 years or 5 years or 7 years with the food producing for sure as a livelihood. The last thing that we do is most of our plantation drives have an technology in place. In fact, we do some of these on a sample basis. We do a QR code based tracking. We give away some of these certificates to some of our employees and leaders, especially the clients who travel overseas. We give away QR code certificates with the photo of the sapling, where it is planted, where it is right now, and every quarter or 6 months we update the piece of the photo with a photograph. So therefore, they know for sure the sapling is survived. It is there. It's geotagged, and it is for everyone to see it.
That's
so we do adopt technology to ensure that we do monitor and track the progress of the sapling.
Okay, wonderful. So that's really a learning for many of us actually.